Hey guys, and welcome to Witchin and Bitchin, the podcast. I'm your host, Darren.
And I'm Vicky. How are you all today? I hope you are very, very well. That was very high pitched, wasn't it?
That was very high pitched. Now it has to go into edit the audio to drop the decibels.
It all. And look, for all those who are keeping up with the spritzometer, that's another spritzometer.
I feel like the spritzometer, like I'm sure there's times you spray it when I don't know about it.
I know, there is. I spray it a lot.
I almost feel like, can we start making Vicky? Okay, guys, I want you to write into us. Should we make Vicky keep track of her spritzometer through her like Instagram stories or Facebook stories or something?
I should do. And everybody else would be reading and be like, what?
Or we could call it the Vicky Spritzometer Challenge. So we could get other people to also spritz. And
yes, and everybody send their photos and stuff. Let's photo the spritzing, Pete.
So random.
I love it. Okay. Sorry, that's a tangent. That's my fault. We went on a tangent. So today, what are we talking about today that's not spritzing?
I don't know. What are we talking about? Nah, I'm joking. So we're talking about crystals, guys. In case you haven't realized it, we're covered in them. We've got them everywhere. We're surrounded by them.
Behind.
We're sitting on them. No, I'm just kidding.
That
would be cool. But that would be cool. Imagine having like a crystal, like a thing that you can sit on, like a throne or a look at me, throne.
Throne.
Because I'm royalty.
I was going to say, go straight to the throne. Not let's just have a little piece in our cushion or something. No, we want a throne.
A crystal throne.
A crystal throne.
So
what a crystal bath.
Oh,
like an actual bath.
Oh, like a rose quartz one.
Yeah, like actually carved out.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
I would never leave. Ever.
Oh, you would just be like,
I'd be like this little prune by the end of it.
I won't give the properties of rose quartz, but you'd just you'd just be like in this total like la lust place of just like self-love and just
pure bliss.
On that note, talking about rose quartz, I know we're gonna circle back to it later, but I went to a place. So I live just around the corner from a place called Crystal World. If you guys are from Melbourne, you may know it. So I didn't actually know that the person who owns the place is like family friends of ours from like way back. I didn't.
Oh, really?
My auntie just told me. She's like, "Oh, why don't you tell Thomas that you like whose son you are?" And Thomas knows like the whole family because he's Hungarian. And I'm like, "What?" So this is a shameless plug. We're not endorsed by them or anything, but if you're in Melbourne, go to Crystal World and say hi to Thomas. So when I went there last, they had a rose quartz ball.
Yeah.
It was about this big. So for those who are listening, it's probably at least
it's nearly a meter.
That's almost a meter in diameter.
Yeah.
And it was this big sphere, like a big circular sphere. Wow. And I literally just went up to it and it says like, do not touch, but I couldn't help it. I went up to it and I'm like hugging it, like just pretending to hug it. And I wasn't actually touching. I was just like,
I can feel the energy.
I would love to have a house one day when as you walk in the door, you open this massive door, that big like staircase with the balustrades, and in the center, like they kind of circle around to the two sides, and in the center of them you have this like massive like geode or something of like amethyst. Can you imagine?
That would be awesome.
There's like opulence, like
just, like everywhere. I love it.
And of course they've got those big you can, when you go to the store, they've got those big like angel wings that come in pairs.
Oh yeah.
That people can pose in front of and stuff. And of course, we take photos in front of them. Like,
of course,
you have to.
I would too.
You have to
be doing it. You have to. That's just a given.
But actually, on that note, I know it's another tangent. We haven't even got onto the content yet.
I know we haven't even got onto it yet. This is a record for us.
Only because I know that you've got something you're going to be talking about, which is not a crystal, but like it's in the same category of things as crystals, because crystals, minerals, gems, like fossilized things. So they actually have like not just crystals, but they have like rocks and fossils and whatever else. But they have this ginormous, like shark's mouth with teeth and stuff. Like it's an old fossil, and it's like a megalodon. Like
so it's huge. So you could literally like go in it.
Like so they've got it set up, and you can stand in the mouth, and then people take photos of you. And you have no idea how fucking huge that thing is.
That's scary to think about. That was something once upon a time. That was something that was around.
So every time I go, because I've only been snorkeling a couple of times, but every time I go, I have this panic attack because, like, you don't know what's in the ocean.
No, you don't. See, that's one of my big fears.
And they swim faster than me. And they turn in the water. So there's no way to do 360-degree looking at all times.
No, you can't be. You just gotta go straight and keep going. And get mode, especially something that's got mouth that big.
Yeah. So I know that we just went on a massive tangent. Bring it back to crystals.
Just go back to crystals.
So
okay.
Let's explore this, shall we? Because this, obviously, guys, this isn't an exhaustive list either. We're just going to kind of touch on the surface of, things you can use the crystals for, like, all the different things. Obviously, if there's a specific topic or a specific use that you guys think will be really beneficial for us to do a deep dive with, then we can do that. Because between the two of us, I'm sure we can get all the info that we need.
We can do stuff.
But then we're also going to give our top 10,
5 each.
Yeah, 5 each, but like I call it a top 10, but
because that's what it is. It's a top 10.
But picking your favorite crystal is like picking your favorite child.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Mine's obsidian, but
we know that.
You're like you can't do that. Mine's obsidian.
Mine's obsidian. I love it.
I already know my favorite.
How instant it was too. Like there was just no breath, no nothing.
It's obsidian. Everybody knows
we'll be talking about that.
Yeah, but so we're going to give you like our top 5, but not necessarily the stereotypical top 5 each.
No.
Like, because we're going to be picking the ones that we personally work with and that we like, but then we've already planned that we're going to have to do a reprise of this and do like another 5 each, and then another 5 each, and then another 5 each.
And just keep going. You can just keep going forever.
Yes, exactly.
Crystal goodness.
So, Vicky, what are some of the? Let's not list them all because let's share the podcast.
Let's share.
Says the guy who doesn't shut up. But what are some of the things you personally use? Like, we'll touch on the things that we do, and then maybe we'll circle back to the things that we don't necessarily do, but you can do.
Yeah. So one of the things that I do, and one of the biggest ones that I use, is using them in meditation and holding on to them through meditation. Also, a little bit side note with that one as well is also about connecting with the spirit of the crystal or the mineral or whatever it is that you're there. So actually taking that time to connect, which we can talk a little bit more about after.
Yeah, cool.
And wearing jewelry, as you can see, jewelry or carrying them on you. I like to carry them also. Here you go. Here's a nice fun fact for you. I like to carry them in my bra as well.
So
if they're loose kind of ones, they're not jewelry.
So when you're feeling for lumps, like, do you have to? Wait, no, that's a crystal.
Hang on, no, that's a hard one. That's a crystal. It's worse when you forget that you've had them in there all day, and then you take your bra off, and you just hear this smash of all these crystals going everywhere over the.
Actually,
so I know that there's a lot of our listeners out there that would be relating with that.
I'm guilty. I'm guilty also because I like being a boy. I don't have a bra, but I've had them in my pocket because like I sometimes put them in my pockets when I want to and there's one day I had them in my pocket and they were making an awfully weird shape in my pants, and my friend noticed it but said nothing all day. And then later on when I gave them a hug goodbye, they're like, I have to ask, what's the bulge? And I'm like, what? They're like, what's with the bulge? I'm like, oh, you mean these? Now,
it's my crystals.
He gave me the weirdest look. He's like, I was like, what? Why is it that shape? And
are we happy to see me, or what's happening here?
Is that a crystal in your pocket? Are you happy to see me? Like, can you imagine though if I had this one in my pocket? Like,
yeah, that's like. It's one of those pillar ones.
Yeah, it's a pillar.
It's a pillar-shaped one.
Yeah. Oh, do you know? Oh, on that note, I know that we're going a little bit off topic, but it's like it always happens.
It's what we do.
I have seen, there's a special name for them. It's for women. Like there's crystal, pleasure items, and eggs and things, and I'm like,
yes, there's yoni eggs, and I don't know what you actually call them.
I know there's a unique egg, but I mean, dildo is another name.
Yeah,
like, I've seen crystal,
crystal ones.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, that'd be awfully hard and cold and
a little bit cold.
So we're going to talk about crystals. We end up talking about dildos and yonis. That's fine.
Right? Why not? Why not? It's fine.
They exist. It's one of the uses you could use crystals for.
It's very much. And like it's a whole thing at the moment now, as well as like face rollers, like rose quartz face rollers, like for facial kind of things. Stuff like that as well. Getting rid of wrinkles and whatever else. I don't know what else they do, but
But anyway, nice. What else do you use your crystals for? Besides your
yonis?
Now.
I'm like, what else am I using them? Elixirs. Elixirs, so making elixirs, so making like crystal essences that you can use.
You like crystal water and stuff, or crystal?
Yeah, like crystal water and things like that. So then you can use that in lots of different ways. You can put it in your spritz if you want to. You can spritz from it. You can drink it. All sorts of different ways. Do you want to go with some now, so that I'm not hogging the podcast?
No, it's okay. Like, no.
I'm joking.
Okay, so one of the ones that I like to personally do, because I'm a crystal healer, so I like to lay them on my body. Don't think.
I was about to say, after what we've just been talking about, I'm like, maybe we should have a different one.
You know what I mean, though. Like, as in, like, I lay down.
Like crystal healing. You have them in different pressure points or chakra points and all of those kind of things. Yeah.
Exactly, because I did my crystal healing a long time ago. Not that I do it much these days. Like, I haven't done any healings for other people just because I'm focusing on other things.
Yeah,
but it's still there. Like, I can do it. It's not a focus right now. But I like to lay them on certain parts of my body. Like, for example, when I have headaches, I tend to I put a very grounding stone in between my eyebrows, so on my third eye chakra. And so I'll use something that's very grounding, or something that absorbs negative energy and stuff. Although I have found you have to be careful which crystal you lay there.
Yeah,
because some of them will draw out the negative, but so much so that they make you realize what was causing the headache. And user beware.
Yeah, that's right.
User beware.
That's it. Like all magical tools, because I mean that's what they also are as well. How we use them is like a magical tool that. They're powerful shit, basically. So you've got to be willing to do that work, or be open to all the possibilities. It's not always going to just be lovey energy and wonderful. It may, like you say, strip it right back to what's actually causing it, which, I mean, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing that you find that out, but you also have to be prepared and be able
to then deal with it.
Yeah, that's right. To be able to process it.
So. Exactly. Now, one thing that I don't necessarily do this, but like I've wanted to do it, I just haven't found the right way to. Well, let's just be honest. I'm being too lazy to take the time to actually look into it properly.
Yes.
Is crystal grids. It's something that I really want to do, but I'm in the process of actually decluttering this room that I'm in for my podcast, because I want to turn this into a bit of like a ritual space as well. I figured I'm doing all other magical things here, so why not?
Why not?
And on that note, funny story, I told Vicky about this off air, but I wanted to, when we were building this house, I wanted to actually put crystals either underneath or in the cement. But the cement guys came and did it, and I didn't know they were doing it that day. It was already dry by the time I got in. I'm like, damn it. Then when they built the frame, I wanted to hide it in the walls, but I didn't want them to touch them and move them and whatever and disrupt it, just in case one was missing and it screwed up the grid. Then when it was built, I thought maybe I'll put them in the ceiling. But then, like, it's something that I shared with Vicky is like, my husband is glad I didn't do the grid, because he's like, imagine if you made it too intense. And then we couldn't sleep.
About to say, could you just imagine everybody like bug-eyed the whole time? Let's go. What are we doing? I'm so tired.
It's like that. Oh, is it the squirrel on the Over the Hedge, that cartoon?
Yes.
There's an energy.
It just goes constantly.
Yeah. So, but that is something I wanted to do. I just never got around to doing it. But it is something I'm thinking of doing when we when we landscape our garden.
Lovely.
Can you imagine me with manicuring scissors? No, anyway, when we landscape our garden, I've thought of, because we're very much aligned to the cardinal directions. I've actually thought of incorporating a crystal to the cardinal points.
Yep.
Outside in the garden somehow.
Yeah, that's what I've done. I've got some out in the garden. I've also got like a little space in my garden that I've created, like a little bit of a circle, And so in the points, I have quartz.
Are you the type of person that has one of those fairy gardens as well?
No, I don't.
You don't?
No.
That wasn't a judgment. That was like me actually asking. You did?
No, we used to. When my daughter was younger, we had them.
Okay.
And I do have like I have lots of statues and stuff in my garden, like in amongst my plants and things.
Like gnomes or?
No, not gnomes. I don't know why. No offense to gnomes or anything, but they kind of creep me out. No, like, it's not very witchy of me to say, is it? But I'm like, I don't know. They just, I don't know.
So you're not a fan of that new Christmas fad trait thing that's coming out at the moment, where there's those like weird things that you just see the nose and then like the hat's pulled down and then they've got the big beard? No.
Oh, I actually don't mind those ones.
Okay.
Because they're a bit more of like the traditionally kind of ones.
You just don't like the character.
I don't like the caricature. Yeah, I don't know. Mind you, I did love the movie Romeo and Juliet. That's all about.
There's a movie?
Yeah, it's a kids movie.
Okay.
So I watched it with my daughter when she was young. It's very cool. But
wow, I feel like this is the world's biggest tangent. But anyway.
It is, isn't it? Sorry, yes. But I do have lots of like quartz and stuff scattered through my garden. And I have them like with certain plants and things like that. And that's what they do.
Awesome
thing. Yes.
I often put mine as well in because I'm one of those essential oil people. In my rollerball things, I put the little chips and stuff in the bottom, and then I make my little concoction with my carrier and whatever else, and I use that to roll myself. So I actually have one that has obsidian in it. It's just obsidian.
Surprise.
What? Don't judge me.
I'm not. I think it's fabulous.
Yes, no, I love my obsidian. So I have a rollerball with obsidian. So like literally when I was I'm wearing obsidian around my neck. I had obsidian in my pocket. I was rolling myself with obsidian rollerball. Like
such obsidian energy everywhere.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I almost feel like, let's just go there. Like I almost feel like I get off on it. Like, the power of obsidian.
It is the power of obsidian, see?
Like some people, it turns them off. It's really off-putting.
Yeah, I was going to say that is one of the ones that a lot of people can be a little bit not fearful of, but maybe fearful.
I mean, I'll touch on it.
It's a strong energy. It's a strong energy.
But I mean, I'm not exactly a pussycat when I talk to people. No. I'm pretty intense. It's like the word extra comes to mind.
Isn't that interesting though? Like also what kind of crystals and things that you're naturally drawn to.
Oh yeah.
And actually like tell you probably a lot about your personality and things like that as well.
That I'm big, black and fucking intense. And I don't mean black as in I'm clearly Caucasian. I mean black as in like big and black, like it's like scary dark kind of,
sort of the dark.
Yeah, I wear a lot of black. I'm from Melbourne. I'm not today, but I do wear a lot of black because I'm from Melbourne. We just embrace the black.
Oh, do you?
Oh yeah,
it's a Melbourne thing.
Oh, very much so.
Then I'd fit in very well then because I always wear black.
You walk around the city and it's just like black everywhere. Everyone wears black.
Oh,
it's a very
maybe trying to get rid of the negative energy because that's what black.
Yeah, maybe.
Without knowing it. All right, let's get back to uses. This has been the biggest tangents I think we've ever gone on.
Yeah, right. I don't even know how long we've been talking for either. So it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
So you have like things like, we did touch on it before, but we'll just like zip through these then, I guess, because we talked about it with meditation. So obviously you've got things like divination, setting intention, so you can charge them crystal with an intention. Which is often what I do. Like, so if I've got a specific, like if I'm going through a stressful time, I'll grab some howlite and I'll charge it with the intention of keeping me calm throughout the day, and I'll stick it in my pocket. And I actually find that those days, because the thing is that talismans and intention setting and stuff, it's oftentimes having it there reminds you of the intention, because you can feel it physically poking you in the hip or in the boob or wherever it is. And so it's constantly reminding you. So it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy because you're reminded of your intention.
Yeah. You're constantly being triggered by it in a good way.
Yeah. So it's not only the physical, like it physically being there or giving the magical intention and the vibration and the whatever else. It's just you notice it and therefore you keep telling yourself.
As well.
And then obviously lastly, there's obviously spell work.
There's spell work, spell bags, talismans, things like that.
Yeah.
Amulets, all of those kind of things.
So let's briefly touch on.
I don't know. Can we ever do anything briefly, really?
Connecting with, cleansing, and consecrating and charging. So the 4 C's of crystal care. Oh my God, that was
that was a big one, wasn't it? Look at them all.
And that just like verbal diarrhea. Just the 4 C's of crystal care. So it's, what did I even say? Shit.
I don't know. Cleansing, clearing.
I said connecting, cleansing. Connecting, cleansing. Consecrating and charging.
Consecrating and charging.
Or is clearing and consecration, they're different things, aren't they? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go with some ways that you can cleanse.
Okay. Well, we touched on it in our Ostara episode actually, but as
yes,
in different forms of cleansing. I mean, in short, the ones that I have written down here. I mean, obviously you've got water, so you can use salt water or fresh water. On that note,
water is good too.
Oh, moon water, yeah. On that note, though, guys, look into your crystal to see if it likes water or doesn't like water. Some of them do not like it.
Yeah, there's quite a few that don't. And often, like as a quick reference, if it ends in "ite," it probably doesn't like water.
Yeah, like calcite, yeah. Or selenite.
I mean, some of them are okay, but in varying degrees. But yeah, that if it's got an "ite," just have that kind of, I better double check first.
Okay. Then there's obviously things like you can use. Oh, you can totally witch it up and go to like a natural spring or a waterfall or a stream. So there's running water.
Lovely.
Even
That's
better.
Always the best. Yep.
Then you have sound, so you can use your voice. So just by speaking your intention or breathing, I often breathe with my crystals, like I breathe on them.
Yep.
Because I don't know, I think it's like that whole
like breathing the life kind of thing. That's something of yours that you're kind of giving. It's a little bit of an offering.
Exactly. That you can use things like tuning forks, Tibetan bells, Tibetan bowls, crystal bowls, music. Then you can do things like smudging, visualization, light, Reiki. If you're a Reiki practitioner, you can use Reiki to cleanse them. And then you've got other things like sunlight, moonlight, energy grids, Mother Earth, so you can connect it to the earth.
Earth's always good. You can burn them for a bit.
Or using those energy pendants, the ones that are like usually metallic or whatever, aren't they? They're like spirally things or whatever. So I mean, obviously work with whatever works for you. I try to incorporate the 4 elements personally. Being a witch, I like to incorporate balance the elements at all times. So I tend to, especially when you've got something like obsidian, like it comes from fire, so it needs fire to cleanse it.
Yes. Yeah. So that's the other thing too, is looking like where they come from. And I mean, I know a lot of them come from the earth and things like that, but there may be specific areas or things like that can give you a bit of an idea.
Yeah, exactly. So that's cleansing. Yes. So then we have connecting. You can take this one.
Yes. So connecting. So that's one of the things I really like to do now. That's when I work with crystals, is to connect with the spirit of the crystal or the energy of the crystal, or I guess some people call it crystal devas or devas, however you say it. So I do that usually through meditation, and I also do breath as well. Like I like to breathe on it, and as if you're kind of waking it up a little bit and giving something of yourself. So I like to hold it in a part of my meditation. So I'll get into a nice state, meditative kind of state, hold on to the crystal, and then just listen and connect and notice what you're feeling, what thoughts might pop into your head, all of those kind of things. I might say a few words to it as well, whatever kind of resonates with you the best. And then I also just find, like, if there's a particular crystal that you're really looking to connect with at the moment, then carry it around with you, or touch it, or talk to it, or just be in constant. Yeah, see, like that, like be in that constant contact with it in like a nurturing way, because you're creating another ally, a spirit ally. So you want to be giving that nice reciprocal kind of energy. So you can close your eyes, start to breathe, connect, all that sort of stuff.
You're going to laugh at me because
What are you going to say? I can see you giggling at me.
I literally sometimes sit there with my big obsidian, and I cradle it like a baby, and I sit there holding it, and I end up stroking it, because there's certain areas or surfaces where my hand feels really nice rubbing against me, and I sit there patting it. Chris, like, are you petting your crystal?
Yes.
I'm like, yes. It's my precious. It's my baby. My precious.
Right, my precious.
Yeah.
Precious.
Yeah.
So just having that contact and treating them like you would any other sort of,
like a child,
a child or a pet or a living being, whatever.
Yeah.
And isn't it funny, because there is certain ways, like especially with some of my crystals that I work with a lot, there's a particular way that I hold them, like my thumb might fit this thing, and so you kind of find these little,
you always have to find the way to hold it
the way to hold it as well. So that's just a really quick, easy brief overview of connecting.
Okay, cool. what was the other ones?
I can't remember now. There was a lot of C's in there, and
there's consecrating or charging.
Yeah, so I kind of they're kind of similar.
Charging it with the intent.
Yeah, so it's charging it with your intent,
or anointing it, or doing whatever. Like
yeah, and I think a lot of times people call it programming your crystals and things like that, so that it has that intention.
Yeah.
I think that intention also works a lot better once you've connected with the crystal as well.
100%. It's also a respect thing because it's like
that's right.
It's like I believe that crystals are living beings and they have a spirit and whatever else, like everything else. So it's a respect thing. Like you're telling it to do a job, but you haven't gotten to know it yet.
Yeah, it's basically like they're not your servants.
Yeah, they're not.
Off you go.
No.
And even
Definitely
then, like
not.
that's not.
No.
That's not quite the right, but yeah, but it's that treating it with that. If you're looking at it from the I knew I was going to stuff that word.
Animism.
Animism, yes. That everything does have a spirit, and everything has. Often they may have sort of two spirits a little bit as well, like the one that's of the family of crystals that they're from, but then also that individual crystal's particular spirit as well.
Awesome.
Oh yes. Did I even answer what we were actually talking about?
Yeah, we said we're going to touch on the different ways that you can cleanse them, care for them, connect with them, consecrate them, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff.
Yep. So that's the same kind of thing. You can hold them to put your intent into what you want that one to be able to do, what its purpose is. If you maybe want it to be a protective one around the house or something like that, you can put those kind of things in. Like a bit like you said with the howlite. Yeah.
And then the other thing to remember, guys, is like with anything, if you ask it to do a job and it does the job, and like you have to be grateful for that job.
Yes.
Like anything you do, always come back to a point of gratitude, like thank your crystals and also care for them. Like, I mean, for example, my obsidian, like one of its roles, which I'll touch on it soon, is to basically absorb negativity. But then it's going to be holding on to all that negativity. So you have to be able to cleanse it to release it from the crystal. Certain crystals you need to release, others you don't. Like, for example, Tourmaline doesn't, because it actually transmutes negative to positive and whatnot. But even just like I keep my Tourmaline near my obsidian. So my Tourmaline is like the little baby brother that looks after the big brother. That looks
after the other one. That's lovely.
And just keeps them like kind of flowing freely. And they have that symbiotic relationship where they can do that with each other and they're fine with it.
Yeah.
I
love that.
Okay, cool.
I love it.
Do we want to touch on to head into our top fives?
Let's head into our top fives, I think.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go first.
So. Yeah, go for it.
Because I want to talk about my obsidian.
I was about to say, I think we all know what's coming first.
Yeah. So obsidian is going to be my number one, because like I know we say we can't pick favorites, but I absolutely do have a favorite. Wow, I'm about to lose all my crystals. That's okay. I'm just taking it down so that those on YouTube can have a look. So this is my ginormous piece of obsidian. It's like about the size of my head.
Yeah.
And about the width of my face.
Yeah.
But it's pointed. You could I could make this into a ginormous Apache tier.
Could you imagine?
And just like wear that around. No way.
Wear that around your neck.
No way. It's I'd be like on the ground.
Yeah.
It's actually really heavy too.
Yeah.
So anyway, so some fun facts about obsidian while we're appreciating it in all its glory and all the different things. So it's actually molten. It comes from molten lava, so it's like volcanic glass.
Which is amazing.
So on that note, you have to be extremely careful. Like there are some really sharp edges on this, and it is as sharp as glass in some places. So you have to be really careful. I have cut myself on this one a couple of times. It was when I was
blood sacrifice.
Unintentionally, I got one, and I can tell you when I set that intention, it worked.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I gave a blood offering. It wasn't intentional.
Yeah.
So some fun facts about obsidian. It's going to sit on my lap while I do this. Yeah, I'm going to nurse it. So given that it's volcanic glass, so it's really good for truth enhancing.
Ooh.
Yeah, so truth enhancing. It's great for reflection as well, and exploring flaws, weaknesses, or blockages. So I will give you a caution on this one, because it's also good for deep soul healing and all that kind of stuff. If you're in a relationship, try not to argue or have a confrontation in the room that the obsidian's in. Because for exposing flaws, weaknesses, and blockages, if there's been those little things that you've been pushing to the side and just kind of ignoring them, they're going to come out, and you're just going to blurt them out in the heat of the moment and not realize you've said it, and they're going to hurt your partner's feelings, all that kind of stuff, because it's all the truth comes out. So I have a rule: I don't argue in front of Obsidian, because the truth comes out.
In front of the children.
No, it's just, you just don't. You just don't.
No.
The other thing it's good for is, as I said, deep soul healing. So because it helps you realize your own truth, and it's good for blocking psychic attack as well.
Yeah.
So anything that's black generally is good for protection and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It can eliminate energy blockages within your body. Again, this is another one of those ones I wouldn't put obsidian between my third eye or in my third eye when I'm like, good for grounding, but if you want the truth to be revealed, you might be stressing about something or whatnot.
Yeah.
It's good for integrating with your shadow self, which is good for spiritual integrity. Like, so you can connect with your shadow. And it really helps you in doing shadow exploration. It urges exploration of the unknown.
Oh,
so
I like that. Yes.
I often meditate with this when I'm trying to think of like future sight, when trying to like tap into something that I'm foreign to. And because of that, it's really good for scrying. Now I'm going to put my little baby down for a sec.
Yes,
it's one that's little what baby.
A lot of like the scrying mirrors and things like that are made from.
So I have this one, which is my crystal ball. So this is a black obsidian crystal ball, and this one is amazing. I don't know how to scry myself. I've tried to do it since we spoke to Danny. For those that don't know what I'm talking about, just go to our episode with Danny. I think it was the last episode we posted. No, hang on. By the time this airs, it won't be. So it was actually episode number 12. It was with Danny from Spellbox, and we spoke about Black Mirror scrying. And you can gaze into it, but it's very easy to lose yourself in the crystal.
Yeah,
it's so alluring, and you just want to stay looking at it because it's pretty.
And that's why sometimes it can be really good when you're doing that kind of work as well, where you can easily get lost in it, especially with crystals. You can really get lost in them. Is to set a timer.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like to actually like set the intent of a particular time, or actually physically set your timer on your phone.
Yeah,
so that you don't just lose hours.
And while we're on the topic of obsidian, I have actually got some other specimens here. So because some people think that obsidian is only one type, but that's only black obsidian. But there's actually blue, black, blue-green, electric blue, gold sheen, silver sheen, green, mahogany, rainbow, red-black, apachetia, and snowflake.
Wow.
So I've got some rainbow here. Now, this is not polished, so it's going to be hard for you guys on YouTube to see, but it's actually got like the different colors, because some areas are raw and some areas are shiny. But when I look at it in the right light, it's actually got like these little rainbow ripples through it, which is really cool.
That's amazing.
Now I've got another one here, which is a form of mahogany. So this one, if I go the polished side, you can see the coloring here.
Yeah.
So it's just other minerals that have deposited when it was forming. And then I can never remember what this one is, but this one's pretty.
It's a blue color.
It's like a bluey greeny kind of green. Almost looks like moss or algae on it, but it's not. Yeah, but it's beautiful. So there's just a few examples of obsidian. Obviously some have different energy to others. So whilst I'm talking about black obsidian and touching on the others, some of them have a softer energy. So for example, mahogany is much gentler than black. So it just gives you that very grounding, but also not quite as. Here's the truth. Face it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just a gentler way to get there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, Vicky.
Which is beautiful. So my first one that I'm going to do is clear quartz. So I know that that's one of the ones.
Such a basic witch.
I know, right? I knew you were going to say that.
I'm joking.
I knew I was going to say that. However, my darling, don't listen. So this is actually probably one of the ones that I do actually use the most is clear quartz, because it's also so universal. And I find, and one of the things that it's really great for as well is that it actually holds a lot of information as well. So you can really get in there and connect and find all sorts of knowledge and wisdom. You can also put stuff into it as well that you want to program into the quartz.
You're such an air sign. It's all about the information and the knowledge.
It is. It's all about knowledge and wisdom, and but isn't that the whole thing with learning and constantly learning? All right. So it is all jokes aside, it is actually a really beautiful, amazing, all-purpose kind of crystal. So if you can only kind of buy one, clear quartz is a really good one because it can really, it can be one of those ones that you can substitute for other things.
Isn't it also, it's an amplifier, right? So it will amplify any other crystal that you have.
Yep, anything else that you have, which is why it's really great for, like we were saying, with crystal grids and especially around your home and things like that. You can use it to program it for that particular kind of energy. It's a really powerful healing and a master healer. It brings the body into balance for pretty much any condition. It's not necessarily for specific stuff. It can just do. So what that does by, it works by tuning to the person's energy and their requirements. And so it brings that stuff back to balance. So it's all about bringing back to balance, back to that optimal resonance is the word. Yep. So it absorbs, releases, and regulates energy. Excuse me. It's a deep soul cleanser as well, and it's great for connecting mind and body together. Contains, like I was saying, that it can be that kind of all-purpose one because it contains every color. And you can often find, so you can then, so it works on all the chakras, it works on all the points, so you can substitute it for different colors and different things. And then often in there you can actually see rainbows inside them as well, which is beautiful. So like we said, it amplifies and enhances energy. So it's really good for psychic, enhancing psychic abilities, connection to the spirit world and communication with the spirit world or other realms. It's a really spiritually connected crystal. And like I mentioned, it's a library of information and storage. And it comes in many, many, many different shapes and forms. And there's points, there's terminated, there's double terminated, there's generators, there's Devic temples, wands, twins, record keepers. They're like, the list can just go on. There's so many different types and different things. But I like to meditate with it and connect to its energies that way.
Yeah. So as far as like if you're to associate in mundane terms, so this would be like it's like your all-purpose surface cleaner.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's your
you think of your all-purpose cleaner that you can use on any bench, on the shower. You can use it in the, like, you know what I mean?
You can use it everywhere. That's it. It's the good old all-purpose kind of crystal. Like I said, because it can kind of be that it either amplifies the energy that you have with you, or you can then kind of program it for another particular. So it takes really well to programming as well. Different intentions, things like that, and it is quite easy to obtain as well. Like it's
clear quartz is easy.
Clear quartz you can find everywhere. It's not a really obscure kind of one that it's harder to find.
And it's also one of those ones that like, because it's almost like I say the mother of the whole quartz family. Like, I mean, this one, for those watching on YouTube, this is some Himalayan quartz. I'll see if I can get it too. So it's slightly more milky in color. It's a little cluster that I've got here. And so it's almost got that like milkiness, or that almost looks like Himalayan salt. It's got that pinky hue to it, which is really but yeah, so it's just a slightly different variation of clear quartz. But
and you can get like the really ultra clear ones that basically almost looks like glass that you can see through. And then you can get other ones which are phantoms, which have sort of like that milky kind of look to them. Like I said, there was you can get the rainbows in them where they have like in different light, you can see the rainbows. And I actually also like to kind of I guess a type of scrying, not quite scrying, but where you can kind of gaze, crystal gazing, maybe, I guess.
Yeah, crystal gazing,
yeah. And just kind of look into it, because it almost looks like a whole nother little world in there sometimes.
Yeah, it does.
They're pretty amazing. So it's just an awesome one.
Awesome.
And did you know that they use quartz in computers?
They also use them in they use it in computers. They also use them in watches.
Yeah.
Like crystal quartz.
Because of that energy conducting and absorbing.
So when people say, "Oh, I don't believe in crystal energy," okay, so don't wear your watch.
Yeah, that's it. It's actually
don't use a computer
thing. Yeah, scientifically proven thing.
Yep. I figured I would stay in the quartz family for the next one, just because they're already in the quartzes, just to show the similarities and differences. So
there is a lot in the quartz family.
So many quartzes.
Huge, big one.
Just even in the clear quartz family, there's like
there's
Smoky's rutilated. What's the other one? Like the one that has the gold thread in it. I can't think what it is, but anyway, there's so many of them.
Yeah, that's it. You've got all sorts.
And then when I'm doing crystal healing, so I actually, when I'm setting up a grid around, so if I'm doing like a past life regression with crystals, I'll set up a grid around them, like a pattern, and like almost like a pyramid shape.
Yeah.
With So I have the pointing around in a square, and then I have one at the top, and they're actually a singing quartz. So I use singing quartz, which is a different type of quartz again, or clear, but it's different type.
Yeah, it's a different one again.
And then I sometimes put either amethyst or citrine in amongst the singing quartz, so that when you like basically kick off the cycle, it then starts to energy pulses around them when you're doing the work.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the same. I've got it on my healing bed. I've got it at like the four corners as like a amplifier to kind of keep that. And it's also really good, like I said earlier, within my garden, I have that at the 4 points at the quarters. To keep that energy of the circle. So it's really good to put around you to create like a physical circle.
Oh yeah, I used to put crystals around me like that and put like the ritual salts and stuff like
if you want to do the whole thing.
If you want to go the whole like it looks plus it looks cool.
It really does.
Yeah, it looks
really does. And who doesn't want to look cool? So
yeah.
So there's many uses for it. But yeah. So I guess the main ones, conductor and powerful healer. So where are we going now?
We're going to the rose quartz family. So this is actually 3 pieces of rose quartz. The camera's not really picking up the color, but it's
I've got a piece too, so if it's not,
the color looks very dull on my thing, but it's
yeah, it doesn't bring it up as well, does it?
No, but that's okay. It's like because there's obviously different shades of the pink as well. They say that some are very light and some are really deep. Some of them always go like a peachy color as well. I've noticed. So for rose quartz is good for basically it's a stone of unconditional love and infinite peace. So it's all about the heart and the heart chakra. It purifies and opens the heart chakra. It's good for deep inner healing and self-love. For calming and reassurance, for attracting love even, restoring trust and harmony. It replaces negative with loving, like negative vibes with loving vibes.
That's beautiful.
It strengthens your empathy, enhances positive affirmations, releases unexpressed emotions. It transmutes emotional conditioning. So if you've got so it's good, really good if you want to kind of heal that emotional conditioning. And it's good for self-forgiveness, self-trust, and self-worth. So I know that's just a very short version of it, but I like to say, as someone who worked in call centers and stuff like that, I used to always have a piece on my desk.
Oh, yeah.
So that I'm always giving loving communication to the person that I'm speaking to. I like to have them on display in our romance or relationship quarter based on feng shui. So I put my rose quartz in our relationship sector. Just so it helps bring that loving energy into the relationship. And if I'm going through a tough time when I'm like I'm finding like, especially during COVID, like when we were in lockdown here and we're in each other's faces a lot, I was holding onto my rose quartz a lot.
Loving thoughts.
Just love. Yeah. But so it's I find it's a really good one to be able to gift people as well.
Yeah.
But someone that you really care about, like, because it's any matters of the heart. So someone that you really care about or that you love, it's a really good one to give them as a gift.
It's beautiful for children.
Oh yeah, so gentle.
To give it to because it's just one of those beautiful, gentle crystals.
Yeah.
I also have a piece at the front door, so that then it's sort of hoping to bring that energy.
Oh, nice. And I know a lot of people that use those rollers and stuff.
Yes,
I've seen jade and I've seen rose quartz.
Yeah,
for the rollers when you're doing your little facials and stuff. I have seen the other things that we spoke about earlier that were rose quartz and jade.
I think they were rose quartz too.
Well, if you want to love yourself,
that's the ultimate love and energy.
Oh God. What's your next one?
I don't know. I can't remember now. No. Amethyst. Beautiful amethyst. So I've got a piece behind me. So this is beautiful. This is an Australian amethyst too, and you usually find amethyst is like from a deep purple through to, it can be like a really light purple, like a lavender. So this is a lovely piece it's all like lots of little clusters, like you get all the little bits.
So we're going to call it Iggy Azalea. Have you named it Iggy Azalea?
No, I haven't.
Because she's an Australian amethyst, because her name's Amethyst.
Is it? I didn't know that.
Her real name is Amethyst.
I didn't know that.
But yeah, so her actual name is Amethyst Amelia Kelly, but otherwise known as Iggy Azalea. So when you said Australian Amethyst, I'm like, she's Australian and she's Amethyst. So is it Iggy Azalea?
I didn't know that. That's really cool. And then also, but like it can come in the tumble. I find now that I like a lot more of the raw crystals now. Like I used to really go for like the tumbled and the polished and all of those.
What tumbled is more practical if you're putting it in your pocket.
It is. Yeah, it is. If
you don't want
carry that a big spiky.
You don't want like a spiky thing in your pocket.
That's right. It's not going to work. That's not going to be comfortable in your bra or anything like that.
No.
So, yeah. So I do, but especially around the house and things like that, I like to have more raw now. So amethyst is a very spirit orientated stone. It's also very much to do with the mind as well, like the mind space. So it's an extremely it also is a really good transmuter of lower energies, so that spiritual part of it as well. It's an extremely powerful and protective stone. It's a really high vibe kind of crystal. And it can open up to other realities and other spaces. So you can use it. So in that kind of way, it's a really good for enhancing psychic abilities, your intuition, all of those kind of spaces. It's a really great one to pop on your third eye. This one I often will put on my third eye. And it's not going to take you to a really bad place. It's not going to strip everything away. That will kind of help you to journey away. It has strong healing and awareness of the spirit world. It's really calming stone to the mind. So if you have a really overactive mind, like in just the mundane, like overthinking, lots of thoughts, all of those kind of things, it's a really great one to kind of bring some clarity and to just kind of calm it all down. So it's really, really active with the mind. It's also great for memory, new ideas, doing new things. So it's really that mind space I find for that. And it's also a really great stone to use for dream work as well. So you can use it if you have recurrent nightmares. It's a good one to help with that. Yeah, especially the recurrent ones. But so you can use it for spiritual wisdom, psychic gifts, intuition, meditation, scrying, coming in contact with your true nature, dreams, third eye, all of that good stuff. And it's purple, which is one of my favorite colors. So even better.
Awesome. Well, staying on
again,
the purple,
that's one of those ones that's quite easy to obtain.
Yeah, I actually got some really nice. We got it from when we were in Brazil. We were just walking down the street. And we saw some lady just in the street selling stuff, and she had all these crystals and stuff. And it was they were just random, like compared to the other stuff. She was saying crystals was really random, and so I was talking to her in very broken English / Portuguese. And she was actually telling us that there were ones that she just found because a lot of the mining of amethyst comes from places like Brazil. So like she just found them when she was walking around and stuff. And I'm like,
beautiful.
I want to live in a place where I could just randomly find crystals. But so because we bought them.
I would too. I'd be there too. Yeah, we have somewhere near us. Like, there's a lot of quartz around us. Just in the Adelaide Hill, just outside of Adelaide, in the Adelaide Hills, place called Rocky Paddock, and there is like giant pieces of quartz and things just scattered through. You can see like lines of it that go through the earth. It's in a beautiful forest and stuff, so it's a national park. But it's just gorgeous, like to see it. And we've seen a piece that was an amethyst, like a very raw amethyst and smoky and all sorts. It's really beautiful.
Wow. That's awesome. Well, keeping in line with your purple, that also adding some green and some clear. So this one that I've got here, it's what do you call this? An obelisk?
I think so, yeah.
Obelisk, like a tower.
Like a tower.
So this one is fluorite. So the one that I have is this. I love this one because it's just every angle that you turn.
Beautiful. There's something different. Yeah, there's like something different each way.
So this one is like purple, green, and white, which is my favorite version of fluorite. So fluorite is known as being highly protective psychically.
Yep.
It cleanses and stabilizes your aura. It's good for computers and electromagnetic stress. So I usually have this sitting on my desk if I'm on the computer all day.
Yep.
Because it just helps with that kind of like the EMF signals coming off that, or the router or whatever else.
Yep.
It draws off negative energy and stress. It's spiritually awakening, increases self-confidence and concentration. It can promote quick thinking.
Ooh.
Organize information and retain information. So it helps you to organize and retain information inside your energy centers and inside your brain and stuff. And it's a really amazing healing qualities. It clears and stimulates the crown and energy aura, and aligns all of your chakras as well. So I always use fluoride when I'm doing crystal healing, any form of crystal healing. Somewhere in the healing grid, I'll put this one because it helps align the chakras. The green grounds excess energy. Sorry, that's what I was saying. The clear is what stimulates the crown. Sorry, the green grounds excess energy, absorbs negativity from the environment, and brings things from the subconscious to the conscious, helps you access your intuition, and it's good for aura, chakra, and mental cleanser. And then the violet or purple is good for your third eye. It brings common sense to psychic communication and meditation. It's a good meditation stone. So when I say common sense to psychic communication, because sometimes the radio frequency signals get a little bit blurred and you're like,
get a little bit jammed.
It just helps you like bring in that common sense factor to what you're doing. So this one to me is a staple. Everyone should have some fluorite.
Yep.
As opposed to fluoride, which is in the water that we drink.
Don't want that.
No, we don't want fluoride, but we want fluorite. Yeah, fluorite.
Yes.
So that's in a nutshell.
It's beautiful.
What's your next one, Vicky?
I love that. It's one of my faves. My next one is black tourmaline.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I've got a couple of little pieces here. I have a few. So I've got a bigger one which has like all the tiny little, it almost looks like a quartz version with all the tiny little, and then just a nice black one.
Oh, so yours is different shape to mine. Mine's like almost like
see, this is because mine's a bit more, I don't know, I think it's a bit more raw. You can see all the, I don't know if we can see on the video, but it's got all like the little striations and little bits all everywhere. So I love black tourmaline.
So do I.
Love it, love it, love it. It's a bit like the obsidian as well. It can come in a lot of different colors and varieties as well. You can get blue, brown, colorless, green, multicolored, neon, orange, pink, watermelon, and yellow, but I'm going to be focusing on the black today. So it's like we mentioned before, it's a self-cleansing one as well, and that's said to have a lot to do with its kind of pattern. So the pattern in which the crystals form, it's in that striation kind of pattern that it kind of shreds the energy a little bit as well as it transmutes it. So it's great for both repelling and protecting against negative energies. It's really good for psychic attack or any other attack of any other form of magic or energy, any of those kind of things. It's a great energy deflector for spells, magics. It increases physical vitality. It also increases mental and emotional stability and intellectual clarity as well. It's really great also for lifting the mood, like taking, especially if there's in a really low mood or low spirits, low kind of thing. It's really great for helping to lift that because it transmutes that negative energy into something more positive. And on that, it's actually a really great stone for grief as well. So especially, so it would be really great to have it on a necklace or something and have it sitting around your heart. And it's really great for just drawing out that.
I have one, not on this necklace, but I do exactly that. It hangs at that exact height.
And it's really great for sort of then drawing out those negative aspects or those things that can keep us stuck in that grief. Not that grief's a bad thing. We all need that grief, but at times we can kind of get a little bit stuck in it and hold on to it. So it's really great for transmuting that energy a little bit. So so with grief, it's great. It's great for grounding, drawing off energy. So it's one of those ones that will help draw off energies. It's also good for radiation and electromagnetic forces and things like that as well. It's a self-cleansing. It's just all around great. It's one of those good ones to have as like a bit of a protective energy, negative neutralizing energy.
Awesome. No, I agree with you. I actually think black tourmaline is probably one of my staples. I used to wear it even when I was doing
mine as well.
Even when I was doing ballroom dancing, I used to wear, like, I had a little choker, like leather band that had a little piece of tourmaline. So because I'd have this big plunging V line. That's how ballroom.
That's what
Latin
you do.
And then I had this little pendant just here, and so I always wore it, and it would help me just be in the zone on competition days.
Yeah, it's just to help find that clarity, isn't it? It just gets rid of it. And that's it on that mundane level, not just on the magical or energy level. It's that mental level as well of our own negative thoughts and our own negative stuff.
Absolutely.
Get rid of it.
So taking it from a grounding place. Now I'm going to do one which a lot of people don't necessarily know. Ooh. This one is called celestite.
Yes.
So I've got a little geode here. So I've got a geode, which is almost like a little crystal cavern that's got this little
hole. It looks like a little cave kind of thing, and they're all little sparkly and beautiful.
Yeah, so it's a really gorgeous, gorgeous stone. So this one I connected with way back when I was studying mediumship. I saw this at my teacher's house, and she was selling it. Like she had various crystals there.
Yeah.
And as soon as I put it on my hand and just closed my eyes started fluttering. Oh. My eyelids like crazy.
Oh, I love it.
I was like, whoa, what the hell is this stone? So I had to have it. I had to have it. Because it was that was the first time I ever got that kind of like a physiological response to a crystal ball.
That's amazing.
I mean, obviously we just spent 3 hours in meditation, so that may have had something.
It may have something to do with it. You're quite easy to connect with stuff there, but
that's okay. Yeah. So with celestite, it's good for connecting with the angelic realm. So those who know me know that I do work with the angels. I actually like the angels and stuff like that. So I don't see them as a Judeo-Christian or Abrahamic being. I see them as universal. It helps with it urges you towards enlightenment.
Oh, I love that.
It also helps with infinite peace, stimulates clairvoyance and dream recall, and can help with out of body experiences.
Lovely.
So because I like to do astral traveling and all that kind of dream work and whatever else, I usually have it when I'm wanting to do that. I'll put this on my bedside table.
Yeah.
So it can help me with that, because it also then helps with a dream recall in the morning. It can heal your aura, and it also can help reveal the truth. Different to obsidian.
Yeah, it's not probably the hard truth instant.
No, it's like the spiritual truth as opposed to the shadow truth.
Yeah.
It's great for conflict resolution and peaceful negotiation.
Oh, I like that. Didn't know that.
It cools fiery emotions. So it's got that very cooling nature to it.
Yeah.
It calms and sharpens your mind, opens and heals the throat chakra. So because obviously anything that's blue is going to be that connection to the throat chakra, but also because it's like that lighter color. It's basically from throat to third eye to crown. Any one of those will work. But yeah, so it's basically, I find that it's really good for when you're wanting to do that very high vibration, when you're working with the higher chakras, or wanting to connect with like the upper world.
Yeah.
And the angelic forces and all that kind of stuff, as opposed to the lower world. So I've got like, that's for my lower world, this is for my upper world. And it's, I feel like it balances me out.
I was going to say, it's a beautiful balance.
Yes. But a lot of people don't know much about celestite. So
no, I was going to say, that's not one that I've used much at all.
And this is one of the ones that I have to like hold it a certain way.
It's got a certain little crevices.
Because what's this bit of your hand? The heel of my thumb has to sit in there, and I wrap my fingers so delicately around it. It just sits so perfectly in my hand.
It fits. See, it was meant to be.
It's like a glove.
Yep, perfect. That's a beautiful one. I love that.
And what's your next one?
So my next one is green opal. So it's a really beautiful. I'll pop some up. So it's like a green, it's got a little bit of a translucence to it. It's probably not what you would normally think of if you think of opal, where you think of those really translucent, almost like moonstone-y kind of look. It doesn't quite have that. It's got a lot of green and browns and whites and sort of clear parts in it. But it's one that I find is really, really grounding, but in a really beautiful way. Like it's got a lot of that earth energy to it. I find that it's got a lot more of a gentler approach rather than that really forceful sort of grounding or anything like that. It's still definitely very powerful, but it's got that gentler kind of energy to it, a little bit like you were saying with the celestite.
Yeah, not like obsidian. That's like,
no, boom, you're down. That's it. You're done. This has just got that gentler energy. Like for me, if I'm like feeling really scattered and my mind's kind of all over the place and I'm too much in my head, which is an obvious air sign.
And when are you not?
I know, right? Being an air sign thing, I will sit down and I've got these, it is actually these two. I've got two kind of palm stones. I'll sit with one in each hand and I'll just start to breathe and meditate a little bit. And like straight away, everything just starts to calm down and find that clarity in your mind a little bit as well. So it's really calming to the mind if you're scattered, as I said, clarity to your thoughts, but then also to be able to then take positive action with those thoughts as well, like to not just have them, but to actually then be able to move with them. It's great for meditation, daydreaming, all of those kind of practices.
Air sign practices.
Which is quite interesting because it really reminds me very much of like a very earthy kind of, which is good because I guess that grounds down that air sign thing, but it's got a lot of things that are for air signs to help us to come back down to earth a little bit more, and really it helps to like filter the information that comes through as well, so you can get that clarity. It's great for your immune system as well. It's a really cleansing, rejuvenating stone. From a spiritual, it also helps to bring that spiritual perspective to the everyday life as well, and it's really good for emotional recovery. Too. Again, it's that gentle kind of energy, that nurturing sort of energy, I find.
I may have to get me some.
Yeah, it's one of my faves, and it is something that I've only recently been using, but I adore it. One of my faves now.
Awesome.
So what's your last one?
My last one is Pranite.
I love Pranite.
So it's like a greenish yellow color, and it's got these little like kind of what do you call it? There's like little, you can't really see it on the camera, but it's got these little kind of like fractures in it, almost like how those little lines and milky bits and whatnot.
Yeah.
So Pranite is usually a yellowy green color. Again, it's a stone of unconditional love. It's a heal the healer stone.
Beautiful.
So given that I do healing, I obviously like it because of that. It's great for enhancing visualization and induces deep meditation. It's also got a strong connection to Archangel Raphael and other spiritual and extraterrestrial forms.
Yep.
So if you want to connect with them, it's a great stone for
Beautiful.
that. It enhances precognition and inner knowing, and enhances prophecy. So I actually store this in my bag with my tarot cards.
Yeah, so it'd be really good to use like when you're reading and when you're doing readings and things.
I keep it in there, and so that way it's attuned with my cards. And then when I'm reading, I actually sit there and this one I really like the shape of it because it's kind of longish and it's smooth. So I can sit there and I actually meditatively sit there and I stroke it with my fingers on the different surfaces while I'm looking at cards, and it just helps me really tap into that inner knowing and that prophecy and that seeing what's really there. Other than that, it also teaches harmony with your environmental forces. So for any witches out there, I think that that's really good because if you're tapping into the environment, like wind or like the rains or whatever, and you want to really connect with nature, it alleviates nightmares, phobias, and deep fears as well.
I didn't realize that about it.
I sometimes, if I've not sleeping very well or have got a lot of like stuff going on, I'll put this in my pillowcase.
Yeah,
so that it's inside the pillow, and I have that, so it sits underneath my head, like in the pillow, and it's just because it's like in that spot. I just find
just
it helps
to bring
bring it all in and just kind of heal through that.
I was about to say it's that healing aspect to it, isn't it?
Yeah,
healing the mind and everything.
So that's Pranite, otherwise known as the Philosopher's Stone.
Love it.
So sorry, Harry Potter.
It's actually, I think in Harry, isn't it like a bluey color?
Yeah, but it's actually Pranite is known as being the Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah, so it's a yellowy greeny color.
Yeah,
beautiful.
And what's your last one?
So my last one, I don't actually have a piece to hold, but it's actually on my necklace that I wear all the time, which is why I thought I would talk about it, because it's become a little bit, I guess, as a personal kind of talisman, because this is a necklace I wear like every day. So it's amber, which isn't actually a crystal as such. It's fossilized resin, so it's ancient.
It's tree sap.
It's tree sap, yes, from like a pine type tree actually. So there you go. Yeah, cone, like a cone bearing one. So you can get it. You see it usually in like the golden yellowy form,
like Jurassic Park.
Yes. See, you can have the little insects in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I made one of them once.
What, a dinosaur?
No. I made one of those. I tried to make some amber, and I had to make it with resin, and I put so I had to catch a bug and stick it inside
there,
and then pour the resin over it to make a little amber crystal with a mosquito stuck in it, because I wanted to make a ball like Jurassic Park, so I could say, "Look, I've got a fossilized."
You could extract the blood and make a dinosaur.
Yeah, I'm sure it wouldn't have been the case, but like because it was fresh, I don't think it had any dinosaur DNA in this mozzie. I don't think it lived for hundreds of thousands of years.
You don't have a dinosaur running around in the back that you made.
Kangaroos, yes. Dinosaurs, no.
Dinosaurs, no. No dinosaurs.
No dinosaurs.
Yes. So it is that one, the one that you usually see the insects in. So it allows the body to heal itself. and it's really great for absorbing and transmuting energies because of its sort of color, and which is one of the things I always associate. It has that really sunny, bright, soothing kind of energy, that sun kind of energy. So it helps to calm nerves, uplift the mood. It's also a really great one for counteracting depression and those kind of when you're feeling a bit down, or those kind of downer moods. With that sunny disposition is helping to help with that a little bit as well. It's really great for connecting with your true self, your higher self, soul consciousness, whatever you kind of, what labels you pop on that. It really aligns really well with the ethereal energies. It's very purifying. It also has a strong connection to the earth, so it's very grounding as well for and also just increasing those for when things are got quite heightened energies. It's a powerful protector in everyday as well as in magic and mysteries and wisdom. It was used and a lot through history, that it was often on like the breastplate of the high priests or high priestesses, and even in some traditions now it's still worn with jet, often with a high priestess who can wear that as well. So it has a bit of a magical kind of history there as well. It's aligned for like elementals. It's aligned with the spirit element. So it brings everything together. It's one of those life stones. It's great for safeguarding against negative magics. And it's also good for enhancing your magic as well. It's also great for safeguarding children.
I was going to say,
often see the
amber,
kids with the amber beads. And what is so one of the kind of folklore parts with that is that the mother should wear it first and then give it to the child.
And don't they also give it to kids that are teething?
Teething, yeah, that's I think what they are now, is like an amber teething necklace that they can kind of chew on a little bit.
Because I see kids with them on, and I also see adults who have kids wearing them as a bracelet.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just a weird coincidence that the adult and the child both have.
Everybody's wearing it.
Everyone's wearing amber, and I'm like, since when did amber become the next thing?
It's the big thing now.
Everyone's wearing it now.
Everyone's wearing it, and you can, because it's a resin and things like that as well. In some cases, you can actually use it as an incense. I mean, I wouldn't use this big chunk, but yeah, you can use it. It's burnt. It was burnt a lot in more ancient times.
Awesome.
As an incense. So yeah, that's amber.
So yeah, I guess
that's them, isn't it?
That's our faves. That's our faves.
Well, that's a few of them.
A few of them.
That's a
few of my favorite things.
That's it. And one thing I guess we should also touch on as well, which I'll be perfectly honest, it wasn't something that I was very conscious of earlier, is how things are mined and the ethical kind of sourcing of some of your crystals now. So that's something to kind of take into account a little bit, of how it came to be a little bit as well.
Yeah, I know that's a topic that's got a lot of it's a contentious topic, like online and stuff, because there's some people who are like, oh, I don't use crystals anymore, I got rid of all my crystals because it's like raping Mother Earth and all that kind of stuff. Like, look, I respect your decision to not use crystals, but respect mine that I like to use them.
Yeah, that's it.
You know,
respect everybody's rights either which way, but I think it's just something to have in your mind and to be mindful of. Like lately, I've moved now to I have my crystal man Vince, who I go get mine from. He's been actually doing it himself. He's had interest in it since he was like 18, so he's been doing it for like 50 years, and he has this amazing collection. And he has such a connection with all of them as well, that the crystals themselves have such a beautiful energy because of that. Because it's come from, it's not like a mass mine or anything like that. He has mined them individually himself. But yeah, like I said, it's neither here nor there, but it's just something to maybe keep in mind nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, there's obviously, and also that's the other
energy that's going into it as well, then, isn't it? In that, because I mean, there's a lot of places, unfortunately, where there's like child mines and horrible stuff like that. But
yeah, like blood diamonds and whatnot.
Yeah.
But the other thing to bear in mind as well, guys, is that really do your research where you're sourcing your crystals from.
Yeah.
Because there are some places, if you're ordering them online and stuff like that, like oftentimes, like I've been stung with it a few times when I bought like what I thought was a beautiful crystal necklace, and then it came out and it was literally just, I could tell that it was either plastic or glass.
Yeah.
I'm like,
a lot of them.
This is not crystal.
No.
And so then I end up filing a complaint through eBay, and I end up getting my money back, but that's, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is.
Because I'm like, don't pass off something as crystal if it's not, because you can often, there's a lot of places in like I won't say country names because I don't want to be
Yep.
against any particular countries, but countries that are responsible for a lot of mass marketing, not mass marketing, mass production.
Yep.
Oftentimes will like dye glass and call it crystal and stuff like that. And
resin and things like that. They do it very well with resin.
Oh yeah, it looks like they make it look so good. Yeah. So just do your research. Get it from a reputable place. I can vouch for places like Crystal World because I've been there, and Crystal University is another one in the city.
Yep.
Like because I know where they've come from, and you can get them wholesale as well if you're working as a crystal healer or as a witch or someone. You can, if you've got an ABN, you can often get them wholesale or like business.
Yep.
Get them for business purposes. But yeah, that's basically it.
I think that's it.
We covered everything. Oh, some books.
I think we have some books. I just suddenly realized we didn't say. So some books that are great to kind of use as references. So this one is Love is in the Earth. And it's a really big, it's quite old. I think you have to kind of, I don't know if it's in print.
You'll be able to find it on eBay.
Yeah, like eBay and secondhand and stuff. It's a really great comprehensive kind of book. There's also Cunningham's Crystal, Gem and Metal Magic. That's got some in there as well. There's heaps of books. Another one that's really great also, which I know we both have this one, is the Crystal Bible. Because it's great because it's got all the pictures as well. So you can identify them a little bit as well. I think it's got like 3 volumes or something now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's Crystal Bible 1.
Mine's an old one. Yeah. There's just some books. I mean, there's plenty of others out there, but that were just a few that I had.
I think they're the staples in most households.
Yeah. They're the kind of ones that you look for.
Yeah. So I hope you guys have liked this topic. I know that it's kind of it's always hard to pick our favorites, but we thought we'd just get a little bit of like, I know that was like we flew through them really fast, but
you can always pause it and write down.
Yeah, exactly. Or just do some research. Do some more research. If you like some of the properties of the ones that we're talking about, have a look at it and see if it resonates with you. I'm very personal and particular with my crystals. Like I like to personally connect with each and every one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, look, if someone buys me crystal, that's fine. Like I won't be upset about it, but I prefer to connect with it.
Yeah, to find that connection first.
The resonance and see if it really connects with me, as opposed to just, oh, here's a crystal. Oh, cool. And then it's like, it doesn't really resonate with me. But anyway. Yeah. Okay. Well, let us know what you think, guys. If you want us to do, well, we're already planning to do a part 2, probably in the new year. We're going to do Christology part 2. But if there's any specific things that resonate with you, what are your favorites? We want to hear from you.
Yep. What's your favorite? What's your favorite crystal that you love working with at the moment?
Yeah, just whisper it so the others don't hear.
So no one knows.
Yeah,
you won't tell anyone.
Mine, no, it's obsidian. Hear that? The rest of you? Okay, guys. Well, that's all from us today. So I hope you enjoyed, and we'll speak to you soon.